hello there. Congratulations on your 5 stream streak, Cubes. Just waiting for YouTube to go live. There it is. I actually have the YouTube chat up on the overlay now. My model's head is mostly covering it. It says loading. I don't know if it's actually gonna work. It's an overlay from StreamerBot. They have an option for chat overlays, and I copied the YouTube one and got it up on my laptop. Don't know if it's gonna work. Hopefully it does. In any case, we're gonna play the Ace Attorney Investigations collection again. We are currently in the middle of episode 4, A Turnabout Forsaken. I was trying to mentally put together a summary of events from last time. So first of all, Kay was attacked and has amnesia now. She doesn't remember anything. She didn't even remember her name. And she's been tagging along with us as Edgeworth. We discovered a body in the chamber of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Someone had been stabbed to death. Her name was Rosie Ringer. Then we found, yes, the 51st floor, which was hidden, where an underground auction was taking place, full of paraphernalia from previous investigations, evidence. Then, yeah, we had to do mind chess with Lotta Hart. Exciting stuff. I had to redo it at least once because I didn't choose the right answers. She's very hot-headed. I think they arrested Kay. I don't remember. They arrested Edgeworth. They did. Edgeworth is currently in a prison cell, apparently. A jail cell, probably, instead. Will Eustace get whipped to death today? He might. Hopefully he does. Exciting stuff when he's getting whipped. It's always enjoyable. Okay, I'm done with my long-winded summary of events. We are in Ladder, Judge Gavel's goal. Clap, clap. Thank you. I did try. April 6th, Detention Center, holding cell. Never thought I'd spend another night in here again. And they stripped me of all the evidence we'd so painstakingly gathered. Even if they did let me keep Kezia Takarasu Pin. I can't help but worry about her. They better be treating her well. The murderer, it was me. I remember looking down and the person in the red raincoat was on the ground. It was me, Mr. Edgeworth. It was me all along. I'm the murderer. I'm the murderer. Come on, let's go. You've got a visitor. A visitor? Ew. Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Want me to send him away? No, though I'm not sure what to even say to him. Oh yeah, Edgeworth also resigned from his position of prosecutor. He's just a civilian now. April 6th, Detention Center, Visitors Room. Wait there. They're leaving me unsupervised? Forgive the intrusion. Oh, it's just Gavel. Just Gavel! What's its name called? What do you mean? You mean the name of the game? It's Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Please, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a seat. What are you doing here? I was told it was Detective Gumshoe. I imagined you wouldn't come if you knew it was me. What could she possibly want from me now? I suppose I'd better find out. You may not be aware of this, but you are only permitted to meet with specially approved visitors. So I'm to be treated like a dangerous criminal, am I? I suppose my reputation has rather plummeted. It doesn't look like the YouTube chat overlay is gonna work. It still says loading. It has indeed. For you, of course, and your friends. That attorney and the other girl were raising quite the fuss earlier. Bender and Emma. I saw them launch some extremely heated words at one of the guards. No, you didn't! You may thank the goddess in that regard, for even she is too busy to deal with each and every infraction. They will not be punished for their bad behavior. Did you come here just to chit-chat with me? You must have a lot of time on your hands. Oh, speaking of which, Miss Pon Karma is continuing the investigation where you left off. I just thought you would like to know. I figured you would be worried about how they were all doing. I hate to admit it, but she read me like a book. Let's cut to the chase, Your Honor. Why are you really here? I'm here simply to talk. Nothing more. There is something I wish to know about you. Me? Yes. Who else? Objectively speaking, you are highly intelligent and quick-witted. And a born prosecutor at that. Please, Judge Cavell. Your sarcastic praise is but salt on my wounds. But I sincerely mean every word, Mr. Edgeworth, and it is why I fail to understand you. Take this latest case, for example. You were up against the very committee itself. You had no hope of succeeding. Even a child could have seen that, and yet... I don't imagine the old me would have ever been so reckless. The old me had power, and because of that, I thought that justice was always on my side, just as you and the committee believe now. But a certain person changed my mind. He made me reckon with my selfish and skewed sense of justice. Are we talking about Phoenix? Aww, Edgeworth really cares about Phoenix. And once the scales had fallen from my eyes, I began to look at people differently. I saw that I was only able to be an effective prosecutor thanks to the efforts of those around me. Detective Gumshoe, the many investigative officers of the force, and even Kay. It changed me. The degree to which it changed me still surprises me to this day. I see. Thank you. I feel that perhaps I understand you a little better now. You? Understand me? I highly doubt it. Someone who is so focused on forcing their idea of justice onto others can't possibly see what I see. Is that so? Is that what you truly believe? I will say one thing. This has been a very interesting conversation. That is all. Before I go, there is one remaining matter. I was asked to inform you that the date of your hearing has been confirmed. It will be held today, in the trial chamber. The committee sends its warmest regards. If that was all you had to tell me, you could have just sent a message. And entrust the goddess's words to another? That wouldn't do now, would it? Until then, Mr. Edgeworth, I'll see you again very shortly. As I said, Gavelle did it. It's Gavelle. Gavelle's the murderer. April 6th, detention center, holding cell. I've barely spent any time in here, and already I can feel my personal appearance slipping. Didn't you say that first? I don't know. You probably did. I may have given up my badge, but I mustn't given up on myself. My collar. It's slightly creased. There. A tidy outside begets a tidy inside. Which is why it's more important now than ever to take care of myself. There's a menu here on the table. It seems that detainees are able to pay to have their meals brought to their cells. What looks good? Spaghetti and mac and cheese lunch. Add linguine for only $1. Basmati and brown rice special. For limited time only, add regular white rice at no extra cost. It's probably for the best that I'm not very hungry. The window is barred with heavy steel. That reminds me of a movie I once saw. A prison inmate hatched a plot to escape by using a file to cut his cell bars. I won't be doing that, of course. For one thing, I don't have a file on me at the moment. What am I saying? I wouldn't do it even if I did have one. There's a note on the wall next to the toilet. Sorry, we're currently out of toilet paper. Henry Stickmin? Who's that? Please make the necessary mental preparations before using the toilet. What sort of mental preparations can one even make? A very basic bed. I can't say it was very comfortable to sleep on, however. I imagine Detective Gumshoe would sleep soundly on it nevertheless, loudly snoring all the while. It badass bust out ending? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm enjoying the keyboard smash, though. I suppose we'll probably never get to work together again. But I don't have any regrets about the bed I've made. I will follow my own path to the end. What else is there to look at? I guess this place. There's a poster in the corridor outside. We regret to announce that, due to the warden's arrest, the Die of Destiny game will be discontinued. Inmates will no longer need to roll a die every morning to determine their meals for the day. We wholeheartedly apologize to those who are looking forward to the daily casting of the die. Did anyone really need an apology for the cessation of such a ridiculous idea in the first place? Do I have another visitor? Hey! Oh, thank goodness you seem alright. That's a load off my mind. Such a heartwarming scene. Enough to make a grown man cry. But you're still not your usual cheery. I mean, you have to stay positive, Kay. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I guarantee you didn't. No, you have to let it go. I'm the murderer. I know that now. But you're not. You can't be. Why don't you have any faith in yourself? How can I, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no me left to believe in. None at all? I don't think that's true. Before you lost your memory, we spent quite a bit of time together. And I dare say you left quite the impression on me. So you see, there's still plenty of you left. That's why I believe so much in your innocence. And why you should believe in yourself, too. Thank you. But I can't. It would just cause more pain for the both of us. Please, you have to forget her. Forget that, Kay. She's gone. Hey, no! You remind me of my younger self, you know. So noble, so bold. This is the justice you and the committee stand for? Justice. I suppose you could call it that. What is he up to? Oh no, not this guy again? Yeah. He is so suspicious. I couldn't come up with a more suspicious person. Why is he doing the lighter thing again? He just loves the flames, I guess. Why is he going to such lengths to control everything? I can't shake the feeling that something is very wrong here. Is there some hidden agenda at play? This is no time to second guess myself. If I'm going to find out what it is, it's now or never. Stop playing with your fucking Zippo and pay attention to the person in front of you. Oh then, my boy. I suppose I should be... Wait! Hold it! Objection! Why is the chairman so intent on seeing Kay charged with this murder? It doesn't make any sense. There must be some rhyme or reason to this madness. We're playing mind chess again. Come now, Miles. I'm a busy, important man. I can't be wasting my precious time talking to you. The only way out of our current predicament is through Chairman Winner. 4 pieces is a lot, yeah. There's so much to ask in so little time. Let's start by trying to find out why he rushed to have Kay arrested so quickly. I can't just let this happen. I'm getting answers if it's the last thing I do. Mind test. Commence. Why were you so keen to push through Kay's arrest? I've yet to hear a satisfactory explanation. An explanation? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Don't give me that. You know exactly what I mean. Tut tut. I advise you to moderate your tone, dear boy. Need I remind you of your position? I've got you now. You're backed into a corner and you don't even know it. Didn't work. What are you going on about? All by your lonesome over there. You need to cut an old man like me some slack. I can't keep up with all that youthful energy. Curses, I should have picked my words more wisely. Okay, let me try that again. Bide my time, maybe. And suppose we did let your friend go free. What then? Hmm? What do you mean, what then? Think how that would look, my boy. And who would have time to take the blame? Who would have to take the blame? Me, that too. You're right to keep your mouth shut. That way you won't say anything foolish. Sorry, but I can't stay silent forever. Not while Kay's innocence is still in doubt. You're breaking my heart. Just look at his flood of tears. Spilling out. Please, just leave it alone, will you? Things were coming along nicely until you interfered. Coming along nicely? That's a pretty strange way of putting it. It's almost as if you wanted Kay's arrest to happen. It certainly doesn't sound like the statement of an impartial representative of the law. You think so? Well, that wasn't my intention. Has it occurred to you that you might just be overthinking things a little? Oh, now he's gaslighting him. Determined winner certainly knows how to dodge a question, but it doesn't change the fact that serious doubts remain concerning Kay's arrest. Next, we'll need to press him on whether he really believes the investigation was sufficient. We can't allow any of his statements to go unexamined, no matter how trivial they may seem. One of them may just give us the breakthrough we need. You can already say your investigation was sufficient, and you're the one who called all the shots, weren't you? Including the decision to have Kay arrested? Oh, ho, ho! I'm afraid I'm nowhere near as influential as you think, dear boy. You're the chairman of the committee. It doesn't get more influential than that. Not that I care about such things. You ruined me. It's enough to drive an old man to tears. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not the deferential type. Well, if you're going to insist on being so blunt, then I'm afraid you won't be seeing your prosecutor's badge again anytime soon. Bide my time? Nothing more to say? Wonderful, then I'll be on my way. Ah! It seems the silent treatment won't work every time. Let me make something clear once and for all. That badge isn't the be-all end-all for me. Far from it. I'm not concerned with titles or roles. Even you must understand that much. So young. So very young. A word of advice, Miles, from somebody who's been around the block. You're hopelessly naive, my boy. Idiotically so. Well, that certainly got under his skin. He might be less guarded in his answers while he's in this state. Now's my chance. How much time was spent on your investigation altogether? My, you really don't give up, do you? But even my patience has its limits, you know. What a coincidence, so does mine. Now answer the question. Do you believe that your investigation was sufficient or not? The youth these days are wont to be reckless. Makes me want to put you in your place. You're going to regret that, my boy. I've got you now. You're backed into a corner. You don't even know it. Undermine. That didn't work. I should have picked a different statement. I've got you now. You. Oh, that didn't work either. I should have bided my time then, I guess. Well, maybe you do know your place after all. What's the matter, scared? Oh ho! Hardly. I was just thinking about how best to proceed. Getting answers from the elderly requires sensitivity. They can get quite emotional after all. Luckily, your time meter doesn't get absolutely fucking destroyed like it did with Heart. A lot of Heart was a lot more difficult than this douchebag. You have no common sense whatsoever, do you? Don't you understand? Your fate rests in my hands. Let's say you do manage to get some answers from me. There's nothing you can do with them, so why not give it up, dear boy? No. And why not? It's simple, because I'm not about to let the truth escape me. Interesting. I think I'm beginning to see what makes you tick. But what you're doing is pointless. Tragically. And miserably pointless. Please, just give up. She's guilty. The decision has been made. Oh, once again, your choice of words intrigues me. It's almost as if Kay's guilt had already been determined from before her arrest. What are you trying to imply? I'm implying that things haven't gone as they normally should. In fact, everything has proceeded as if Kay's arrest was the end goal, right from the very start. Well, Chairman Winner, was it? What did the Twitch caption say? Pointlessly? Did it? Oh, I see it! I see it! On the captions. I don't understand why it said that either. That's certainly an intriguing theory. That's not a word, Twitch. Google. That's not a word, Google. But it's also a complete work of fiction, and I'm afraid I don't have time for such flights of fancy. I think it's time we brought this shabby little farce to an end, don't you? No, he's trying to make his escape. We must confirm the legality of Kay's arrest before he slips away. Oh no, the meter's gonna get completely destroyed this time. It's faint, but the truth is finally beginning to emerge, and I'm not about to let this opportunity pass me by. Wait, we're not done yet. I'm tired of all this talking, but make it brief, will you? Based on everything I've heard from you so far, it's clear that Kay's arrest is entirely unfounded. Yes, I think we're all familiar with this particular refrain of yours by now. But I'm afraid it doesn't matter either way. You don't have what it takes to secure her release anyhow. How dare you take this so lightly as a man of the law? My, aren't you a rude little boy? But my fuse is only so long. Honestly speaking, I don't have the time to waste on every last question you can dream up. I have certain responsibilities to attend to, you know. I really am quite the busy man. Or are you just pretending to be busy? That's an awful thing to say to a fragile old man. I work harder than I should at my age. I ask you, my boy, what could I even hope to accomplish by putting up such a pretense? You obviously don't want to talk about the case anymore. That's why you're so keen to get out of this conversation, isn't it? It's just so tragic. It really is. That you would suspect me of such things. It's not a suspicion, it's a certainty. There were no clear grounds on which to base Kay's arrest for a start. Now, my boy, let's not get carried away. There was plenty of evidence to support our case. The mask, the letter, the corsage, these were all in her possession. And of course, her confession. More than enough to prove her guilt, I'd say. But those are... What's the matter? Struggling to come up with a way to explain everything away? Well, there we have it. Your silence speaks volumes. It's true I can't counter your argument right now, but you did let something valuable slip. A suspiciously detailed knowledge of the evidence against Kay. He rattled off that list like he knew it inside out. I think that might prove to be a valuable clue. Kay is innocent. No, my boy. That's just clumsy. Anyone can blur out a baseless assertion like that. Even a disgraced superstar prosecutor. Ugh! It's no good. I don't have enough information to take this any further just yet. But my chance will come. I'll just have to be ready when it does. Who gave the order? Who decided that Kay should be arrested?
You know, I can't seem to remember. Don't ever get old, Miles, my boy. It wreaks havoc on your memory.
Time to deploy my clue. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop playing the old man card. You remember the details of the evidence against Kay pretty clearly. Perhaps if your memory didn't fail you only when it was convenient, I'd be more inclined to believe you. So let me ask you again, who gave the order for Kay's arrest?
You're a sharp one, I'll give you that. My son could learn a thing or two from you.
Eustace? Yes, Eustace could learn a thing or two from Miles.
If he wasn't such an incurable numbskull, that is. It's a tragedy, really.
I don't want to hear about your son. I want to know who authorized the arrest.
You're very mean. You know that, don't you? The arrest, you say? I believe the order was given by...
Oh, damn it. Damn it. I did the wrong thing. I've got you now. You're backed into a corner and you don't even know it. That was wrong. I guess it was him. And then I deploy the clue. And then I say it's him this time. Come now, Chairman Winner. We both know it was you.
Alright, you got me. You make it sound like it was somehow a bad thing, though. But I have a reputation to uphold, so I guess I'd better clear up this little misunderstanding. I'll entertain your questions for a few more minutes. Let's see if I can't put your mind at ease.
The key thing to do now is to establish how intimately he knows the details of the case. I just have to ask the right questions. The endgame is at hand. We're but a few moves away from the truth. You seem to know the case in quite some detail.
I know about lots of things, my boy. I'm just smart like that.
Too bad the same can't be said about the way you handled Kay's arrest. I've got you now. Damn, that didn't work. Let's try that again. Maybe if I bide my time.
I'm a very busy man. Do try to remember that I can bring this little chat to an end whenever I so choose.
It's only taking so long because you won't give me a straight answer to any of my questions. I'm curious what the lighter does. I think it's just fascinated by fire. It likes to burn things. It says something about his character, but I'm not sure what. If only you'd stop giving me the runaround, we'd be done already. So let's try this again. You seem to know the details of the case quite intimately. Why is that?
Because I read the case file. Not exactly the most thrilling use of my time, of course, but it's part of the job. I have to be a good role model. I can't be seen to be slacking. It can be so hard. But I had some time on my hands, so I read the whole thing from cover to cover.
That's strange. I could have sworn you just told me you're a very busy man. I'd say the cracks are finally starting to show, wouldn't you? If you're so keen on being an upstanding leader, you can start by releasing Kay, you know?
You really don't give up, do you? It's a moving sight indeed, my boy. But a tragic one, too. After all, your efforts are for naught. I'm I'm afraid your little friend was found unconscious near the scene of the crime.
Bide my time, maybe? Damn. Okay, this time I'm gonna ask him something. I think this is the thing I chose. No, it was bide my time. You know what? I wonder what happens if you ask him about the lighter. I think nothing happens. We have yet to hear much about the circumstances under which Kay was found. She was lying unconscious in the storeroom, correct?
That's right. Although I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know that.
He knows things even we didn't. In fact, he seems to be aware of every tiny detail about this case. This could be a valuable clue. The suspect, Kay Faraday. How much do you know about her exactly?
I know that she's the suspect. Aside from that, not much else. Cross my heart, but it's true.
Time to deploy my clue. Sorry, but the more you tell me, the less sense your story makes. For one thing, you know details that even those investigating the scene were not aware of. Why is that? Just how much do you really know, Chairman Winner?
Oh, there's that intimidating face you like to make again. Well, who can play this game?
How do you like me now, hmm?
I do have to commend you on your doggedness. It really is something.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Take it however you like, but wrap this up, will you? I just don't have the stamina anymore. She's the culprit, the only possible suspect. Just accept that already. How much more evidence did you want us to load her down with, for goodness sake?
Load her down with? Yet another interesting turn of phrase. One that makes it sound like a lot like the items Kay was carrying might have been foisted upon her.
Impressive. You really do pay attention, don't you? It's no wonder they used to call you a prodigy, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I think you know the answer to your own question by now. Why don't you just go ahead and say it? I want to hear it from you.
Finally time to shed light on the truth. All that's left is to play one last move. Kay is innocent.
No, my boy, that's just clumsy. Anyone can blurt out a baseless assertion like that, even a disgraced superstar prosecutor.
Time to deploy my clue. Kay was framed. The true culprit set it all up so she would take the fall instead. That is my answer, and I won't let you deny it any longer. Oh no! He used the tears to put out the fire on his beard.
Oh, my, you really are a sharp one, hmm? It's a bit of a shame you chose to hand in your badge. I admit it. You're right on all counts.
And that's checkmate. God damn it, I was hoping he'd burn himself. Mind chest checkmate. My mouth is dry as hell. You knew Kay wasn't the real murderer, and yet you still had her arrested. What's worse, you thought you could get away with it. Well, you won't, not if I can help it.
There you go again with that naivete again, my boy. I guess I was always your problem.
Thank you for hydrate.
Cub just redeemed hydrate.
With the girl arrested and a conviction secured, this whole mess goes away, and that's what will happen.
But whose interest does a conclusion like that serve?
The committee's, I suppose. In mine? Oh, you know, listening to you just now, well, I really got the tears flowing, I have to say. It was poignant and heartfelt and sincere and utterly infuriating. Look, I'm not perfect, I know that, but your lack of sophistication in these matters is beyond the pale. You insist that the truth is more important than anything else. But would you say the same if you knew what the real value of the truth is?
What are you trying to say?
When you get to my level, you don't uncover the truth. You make it, little by little. Hey, Faraday, murderer. That's the truth I created. Kern! Yes, my boy. That's what I like to see. You're so sincere sometimes, it's painful. It just makes me want to put you in your place. Knowing the real truth will get you nowhere, because that's how much it's worth. Nothing. Shocking, I know.
But why not go after the real killer? How much do you even know about what really happened?
You're still not getting it. That's your truth. And it is worthless. Mine is all that matters. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor? I have all the power here.
Curse you.
Well, aren't you menacing?
Thank you for the lark.
You and your little friends are just as bad as each other. Violent criminals who deserve to be locked up.
You'll pay for this.
And with that, yet another person disappears from my life. Oh, it just makes me want to cry and cry and cry.
You must be so dehydrated from crying all the time. I'm not planning to disappear just yet, Chairman Winner. There's still the hearing later today. Just you wait. One way or another, I'll prove Kay's innocence to the world then. We continue? No, okay. Interesting. Why is a lot of heart here? April 6th, 8:30 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber.
10 members, over a majority are present. I hereby call this hearing to order. We are gathered here today to assess the professional competency of Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Here, in the sight of the goddess, we do solemnly swear to pass fair and frank judgment.
Fair and frank? You make me laugh.
Verity, if you would be so kind as to summarize the case against Mr. Edgeworth.
On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist, and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious amounts of evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist the suspect, 1K Faraday, is innocent of all charges.
Perhaps you could explain the details of the murder to us as well?
Of course. On the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by E. Eustace Winner, Premier Prosecutor. The floor is yours, Mr. Winner. The murder itself happened late on the night of the 4th. The victim was Miss Rosie Ringer. Thank you!
Jonas is water just redeemed pat my head.
Thank you for patting my head, Jonas. So many of you cute emotes. That same night, an illicit auction was being held here in this very room. Ringer took part in that auction, I think. Yeah. Oh, and congratulations on your 25 stream streak! Wow! Thank you for the support! That's amazing! Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. When she was found, Ringer was dressed in an outfit that matched the description of the auctioneers. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, thank you for all the streaming. Ah, you're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying the streams. I know that when I rewatch my VODs, I'm enjoying them, but it's always nice to hear that other people other than myself are enjoying them. However, due to the fact that the auction carried on after the murder had occurred, I deduced that Ringer was not in fact the auctioneer. You deduced nothing of the sort. And what about the basis on which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner? Yeah, I got this. The Faraday was overcome by crushing remorse, Eustace. Yeah, that. Tons of crushing remorse. So she confessed. According to her confession, she was on the roof of this building when she encountered a person in a red raincoat on the viewing platform.
And that person was Miss Ringer, I take it?
Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit after the fact. I'm usually lurking, but I always love popping in and such. Ah, thank you for lurking. I have a notification on my phone I need to get rid of. Bothering me. It was from TikTok. Let me drink some water. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. And who won the race to find that raincoat nearby? Me, that's who. Did you? I thought it was somebody from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winner's command. I knew it! The blood analysis on the coat showed that it was indeed Miss Ringer who had worn it. And the suspect's confession was the final nail in the coffin. He confirmed having committed the murder. So as you see, Hey Faraday was the killer. There's no way anybody else could have done it.
Alright, Miles. I expect you to have some objections. Let's get them out of the way, shall we?
I have no objections, Chairman Winner.
Well now, is that so? I thought it would have taken more than a single night in detention to break it.
No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty.
Overruled.
I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winner's investigation was fair and impartial. Of course it was. When it comes to carefully conducted ops, I'm the winner every time.
You know, Miles, it's within my power to offer you a plea deal of sorts. If, and this is purely hypothetical of course, you were to withdraw your objections, you might wake up tomorrow to find yourself the proud owner of a seat on this committee.
Ooh, he's trying to bribe him.
So I ask you again, do you have any objections, Mr. Edgeworth?
If you think you can buy my silence, think again. You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on the incident is.
You want to put us on trial, my boy? Very well, if it will make you happy. Verity, please provide Mr. Edgeworth with the materials pertaining to the case.
Really? But sir...
This will be his last hurrah, so let's humor him with the send-off he desires.
If you say so, Mr. Chairman. Evidence data received from Judge Gaval.
You have no objections to Verity representing the committee, I assume?
None whatsoever. And Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. The committee's view of the case. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she'd emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was on offer that night? Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zhengfa, I assume? The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstances. It wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose.
Wonderful work, Verity. Just wonderful. Crystal clear as ever.
You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat? I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. It is? Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. What exactly is she up to? Rebuttal. Miss Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer.
Hold it!
In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade? It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say.
And of course, we'll be looking into any such activities just as soon as this hearing is over and done with.
I commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, don't be silly, Verity. It's the least we can do, really. Not that it's any of your business, Miles. Not anymore. If only you had remained a prosecutor. But you didn't. Now, if we're quite done making an old man cry over this whole sad affair... Very well. Allow me to continue. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale.
Hold it!
So the raincoat really was one of the auction lots? That's correct. I believe it originally belonged to a Mr. Shelley the killer. Considering its status as a piece of evidence, it's the only logical conclusion. It's from when he made his attempt on the president's life? It was an unexplained mannequin standing amongst the other items on sale. It could well have been used to display the coat prior to the auction. Do we know how the items were being smuggled in? That is still under investigation, and is entirely unrelated to the matter at hand. Especially considering that you will soon officially be a prosecutor no longer, Mr. Edgeworth. It sounds like the outcome of this hearing is a foregone conclusion. No surprises there. My personal circumstances aren't important right now. Please continue, Your Honor. As I was saying, the raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase.
Hold it!
Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because of the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Miss Hart told us pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof.
Hold it!
Miss Ringer was a member of the committee. Could she not have left the committee chamber via the main door? While the auction was still underway? That would risk exposing its existence to those outside the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Miss Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction stated that attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch in the roof. Miss Ringer had no reason not to follow those rules, and given where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so. After she emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we are hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact, something you seem to specialize in. If the murderer knew that the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she had emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case.
Hold it!
Her flame went out? The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth. Though perhaps her flame was stolen from her is more apt.
Objection!
But the candelabrum that extinguished her life was one of the auction lots, meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with.
Overruled!
Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have snuck down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway. If only we knew where the candle holder was during the auction, that would surely clear the matter up, no? Well, either of you? Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us much on the front at the moment. Forgive me, sir. This is something we are hoping to establish through further investigation. Well, isn't that a shame, Miles, my boy? It seems this line of inquiry is something of a dead end then, isn't it? So their theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. But is that really the case? I thought I had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Time to double check.
Objection!
Oh, that wasn't it? Damn.
It wasn't this.
Objection!
It wasn't that either. Maybe it's this instead? This statement?
Objection!
Damn. What is... Okay. I don't know what the answer is. It wasn't this.
Objection!
It wasn't that either. Okay, it wasn't the elevator blood. I swear this has to be the statement that is incorrect. I already looked at that. Broken plushie, masks. Miss Hart's picture. This proves that she did leave through the hatch. And it's neither elevator blood nor committee chamber blood.
Objection!
It's not the box either.
Objection!
Not that either. Oh, I forgot to do the stream ending in thing. Hold up. Let me put up the timer. Okay, it should be, we started at 5. There's 6 minutes left for the hour, so maybe is the amount of minutes? God damn it, I'm trying to do math. Okay, that should be the correct amount of time left. Maybe. Or maybe it's 155? Yeah, maybe it's 155. Okay. I'm confused.
Objection!
Okay, let me just get out the walkthrough. Walkthrough time. Gotta make sure that the stream goes smoothly. Hello, Cubed. on this part, so I'm looking it up. Okay, it's Miss Hart's. I guess it's the. I guess it was the photo all along.
Objection!
Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Gavel. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She is an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well, now, I ain't really an eyewitness. More of an ear witness, I guess. She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I'd like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this. It's a photo taken by Miss Hart. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in a storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Wait! You're saying Gavel got it? Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. What? Miss Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in the picture, correct? I sure did. Clear as day. And with my own 2 eyes to boot. And what were your impressions at that point? My impressions? This right here is a scoop of the century. Something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I was hoping more for your impressions of the person in question. Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket? Seriously? Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sat on your lunch. Oh, red raincoat, right? Well, I took one look, and I thought that's what our perp right there. And therein lies the rub. For Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that the murder occurred. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you need only ask, you know. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated.
Objection!
Unrelated? You can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's? You're kidding me, right? Them folks was talking crime-related turkey, or my name ain't Lotta Danged Hart. But did you hear them clearly? Well, can't rightly say for sure, but I can't rightly say nothing, and you know it. They was using voice changers. I done told y'all that. Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised, which means we cannot even be certain that whatever she did over here had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
You don't need to yell objection in order to sigh at me, Mr. Edgeworth. It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavel.
Nonsense. Verity's the best of us, my boy. The very best.
And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have had anything to do with the murder? Even supposing that that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up to the roof. That much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves that the incident happened before the victim went up to the roof. There's blood on the hand.
Take that!
We initially thought that the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Yes, because Miss Hart said as much. Indeed, she told us about the blood she saw on this person's hand. And I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it recontextualizes everything. The presence of the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim too. This picture tells us that the victim... There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in a storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Miss Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wound she had sustained. What are you talking about? Who dies from a hand wound? The wound wasn't on her hands, Mr. Winter. I imagine she had used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right. While it's impossible to tell from this angle, the victim was already mortally wounded here.
Oh. Well, that certainly would change things, wouldn't it?
It very much would, not least by making it absurd to suggest that Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken, after the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. Ad starts in 1 minute. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, that or pretending to not remember it.
What? What fact am I forgetting?
I think it's time to wrap things up, don't you, Verity? Put the boy out of his misery.
Dad, Cavell works for me! Why do you keep giving her orders? That's my job!
You really are a total and utter embarrassment.
I am not! I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Go to it, Cavell! Put Edgeworth out of his misery. As you wish. What you're forgetting. Okay, be right back. Gotta do a little save first. I've been drinking a lot of water. Okay, we're back. Thank you for the lurk. What you're forgetting. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Nicely done, Gavel. Now Edgeworth will have to make several objections? Yes, I'm afraid I will. What? Why? Weren't you listening? Oh, I was listening. Very carefully, in fact. Hence my objections. Come on! Why do you always have to undermine me? That's never my intention, I assure you. It isn't? Because you do it so well to yourself every single time already. Eustace! God, I understand why people love Eustace. I understand why there was someone who loved Eustace in my chat the other day. He's just so adorkable. Of course it isn't. Yeah, I knew that. Because I'm...
Please, Eustace, just stop, for goodness' sake. You've already embarrassed me enough.
Huh? What do you mean, Dad? Rebuttal. His dad is embarrassed by his son. His dad hates Eustace so much, and Eustace just loves him in return. Oh, I feel bad for him. Miss Ringer's body was found with 3 wounds in her chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? Oh, I forgot to press.
Hold it!
The first statement. 3 wounds. That can't have been pleasant. Yes. Which is why we must see that the perpetrator of this cruel act pays for their sins. Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Gavel? Very well. As I was saying, there were 3 wounds. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we?
Hold it!
I do, but perhaps we should ask Mr. Winter. He does, I'm sure. Don't you, Eustace? Who, me? Oh, you bet I do. I know this case inside out. Who does he think he's fooling?
Eustace, my boy, make an old man happy and at least glance at the coroner's report, would you?
Sure, let's see. Yada yada, 3 puncture wounds, blah blah, candle holder. Oh wait, that's what they used? Crazy. He didn't even know what the murder weapon was. Oh my god, Eustace! You're something else, dude. You're a welcome addition to the Ace Attorney universe. Ahem, precisely. The wounds were inflicted just as Eustace says. That's right. They're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum.
Hold it!
And you're sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death? There's no doubt about that? None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hertz's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. The coroner's opinion backing up my own winning one? Now that's what I call a flawless victory. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. Hey, what about my findings? You can't just ignore them. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest and the candelabrum, that would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. He's not just ignoring my findings, he's ignoring me! Do something, Gavel! As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure that he cannot ignore my own conclusions. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds.
Hold it!
But the victim may not necessarily have died instantly. I think we can say that much at least. Perhaps, but she would surely not have lived for longer than a few moments either. So, there are people who could survive, even if you stab them in the chest? Sure, there might be, and there might not be, too. So, which is it? Trust me, there are not. And in case you're still tempted to believe there might be, if you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune.
Hold it!
Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions. In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too? You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you to read that report very carefully. After all, I am not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounded deductions. Very well, then you shall have my deductions. Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. If I can't, Kay's fate will be sealed. Look at the coroner's report again. Okay, preliminary findings place time of death as sometime late last night. Cause of death is a set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Victim also suffered a head injury post-mortem. Other remarks: prominent burn mark on back of victim's hand, right hand.
Objection!
Okay, never mind. It wasn't that. Maybe I use the coroner's report on this statement.
Objection!
Nope. And I can't skip through this dialogue because I have it in the settings not to skip dialogue that I haven't seen before. I'm looking at the walkthrough because I'm about to lose it. Red raincoat on the 3rd statement. Okay.
Objection!
I noticed that there weren't any puncture wounds through the raincoats, but I wasn't sure if that was the correct answer. Herman Winter, you know what this is, of course?
A red raincoat. That's right, isn't it, Verity?
Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading old ground here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gabelle. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. But do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course. They were found on the hood and... No!
What's the matter, Verity?
The hood and... Was the blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim's out of stab wounds to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, there was blood only on the hood. That's a glaring contradiction if I ever saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Miss Ringer could not have been stabbed before the head injury had been inflicted on her. But even if we concede that, at this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes things a great deal. In fact, it raises an even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite a bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction the order of the injuries revealed? Dr. Hertz's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. What the order suggested, but the bloodstains on the raincoat is exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda Hertz, the committee chamber, with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll go fetch her at once.
Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she will be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there is another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they? Yeah, good point. We never looked into that, huh? Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence of the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can't name. I suspect that at the very least they might be able to point us in the right direction. And that's Chairman Winner. I demand that you testify as to what you know. What? Are you crazy? Why would you accuse my dad? You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Do you understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is. We're talking about the truth here. And a man who seems dead set on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, the corsage, ticket stub, and everything else. The items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow, by Chairman Winner himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe. But for the sake of completeness, I must ask, why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course. Why else? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winner, your rebuttal, please. I think the good chairman might be in shock.
So what if I did? Did you hear me, dear boy? I said, so what if I did? You say you got me to admit as much, but where is your proof, With no witnesses to speak of, your word alone is hardly enough to make an accusation like that stick. Or do you mean to tell us that you have something more to base your outburst on?
He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I am going to have to ask you to explain yourself. That's all right, Mr. Chairman.
Not at all. I'll be very interested to hear this for myself. I'm intrigued to learn where Miles might have gotten the idea that I'm some sort of criminal. Because you'll never find a more fine and upstanding citizen than myself.
You're the most suspicious-looking man I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely not a fine and upstanding citizen. Look at him. He looks evil. Absolutely not. He has a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. Very well, let's start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hollowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should, by rights, only be accessible to members of the committee. Yeah, we all have key cards to the room after all. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible, there can be only one winning explanation. That's right, Mr. Winner. That the auctioneer is a member of the committee. What? No! What on earth is wrong now? What do I do, Dad? I played right into his hands!
Oh. You did indeed, you utter nitwit. But Miles, my boy, you do realize that you've cast quite the wide net with your explanation.
That's true. There are 11 members of the committee altogether. 10 given Miss Ringer's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total.
Well, it certainly isn't me.
And it can't be the chairman, can it?
Whoever it is, speak up right now. Calm down, all of you. Please. Well, Miles, is that all the proof you've got against me? You're very quiet all of a sudden. But it's too late to back out now. You accused the former chief prosecutor and current committee chairman of a crime. Drink! I would tell you to prepare for the worst. But there's no preparing for what you're about to face.
Know your place.
You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember. But you needn't have bothered my boy because it's all irrelevant in the end. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and her sentence will be lighter for it. So rejoice! And there you have it. Feel free to poke holes into it as you see fit.
How can I when that was barely a testimony to begin with? That man, he's a very powerful person, isn't he? It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. Please, let it go. I did it. I'm the murderer. I even remember doing it. You saw a flash of something half remembered, Kay. Nothing more. You must believe in something. Believe me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead. But I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him. Rebuttal.
You've been forcing us to argue over every little detail for a while now.
Hold it!
Even if the broad strokes are correct, it doesn't make something true.
Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud. I'd say the bigger picture is more than enough here. After all, every case has its little inconsistencies and contradictions. If we let ourselves get bogged down in every single one, we'd never make any arrests. And once we did, the trials would drag on forever. Even you understand that, right?
Not in the slightest. Hence my inquiry into the details.
Oh, to be so young and pig-headed. Anyway, you keep digging into these little details. Where the murder happened, the order of the victim's injuries, some other things I hardly even remember.
Hold it!
I seem to recall the ringleader's identity and the faulty coroner's reports being critical points of contention.
Yes, I was listening, my boy, but critical is a matter of opinion.
How can you possibly suggest that such fundamental issues are not important? Perhaps it is your ability to make sound judgments that should be on trial here today?
Oh, ho, ho, ho! Bravo, my young hothead! Wonderfully cutting stuff. You do like to try, though, don't you? But you needn't have bothered, my boy, because it's all irrelevant in the end.
Hold it!
There's no way any of what we discussed today is irrelevant. Not unless you intend to bury the truth.
But none of it is relevant, dear boy. The only reason you keep trying to make it relevant is because otherwise you're up a creek without a paddle. Think about it. The suspect herself has already said she did it.
Hold it!
Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt.
Objection!
Even so, it doesn't exactly solve anything for us, does it, dear boy? And it would be nonsensical to dismiss her confession outright. I tell you what, why don't we ask her one last time? So I'm sure she'll just say she did it again.
Fine, let's do it. Let's ask her again. We'll see if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Huh? You mean me? Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her.
You really know how to tug at an old man's heartstrings, you know? But fine, ask away, on one condition. If this turns out to be a waste of time, that's it. We'll call the proceedings to an end then and there. Agreed?
Call the proceedings to an end? You mean the hearing?
Yes, dear boy, that's right. Perhaps you aren't a complete muddlehead after all. Now, just so we're clear, if we ask again and all that happens is the girl confirms her guilt, she is officially declared guilty on the spot. Yes, that sounds like a great plan if I do say so myself.
That's it? You just declare her guilty, just like that?
That's the gist of it.
It's a big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Hey, yes? I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened on the day of the murder? Anything that might help us prove your innocence? Why? Why are you still fighting it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's no use. I can't be of help to you. sorry. I'm too scared to try and remember anymore. What if I remember something even worse? And if I did, I'd just be making more trouble for you. Please, just accept it. The K you thought you knew is a dangerous criminal. A criminal who let you down and betrayed your trust. Don't worry, Kay. You have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now, I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. You would never commit a murder. You can never, because this is who you really are.
Take that!
You're the great thief Yatakarasu, a noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. I can't do it. I'm sorry, because all I can see is the one memory that's returned. I have to face it.
Hold it!
No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? No, it's not that. You're trying so hard to help me, and you're risking so much for me. It's too much. You have to stop. I'm begging you. So that's what's going on. I thought it was strange, but now I see. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the K I know would have done. You're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. So you see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me. Hey! What's wrong? Did you remember something?
Oh, whoa! It'd be like some cliche movie plot if she did.
A cow!
A cow?
Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details.
Well, Kay, what can you tell us about this cow?
I remember now. The person in the red raincoat, she had it in her hand. A stuffed cow! I can see it so clearly now. Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I'm sure. Then this court acknowledges the defendant's latest statements as new testimony.
Objection!
Have you lost your mind, Verity? We can't accept testimony like this.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her possessions is new and highly relevant evidence.
Objection!
Did I remind you of the addled state of her memory? No, this simply won't do.
Addled? But if we claim her memory is unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. You said yourself only a few minutes ago that thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Were we to call the validity of her memories in question, then we must also call into question the confession on which our entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action?
Yes, you're right. Proceed as you see fit then.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth.
And only thanks to Judge Gabelle's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal. I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom and believe it is yet another auction lot. Wait, that's... You know something, Gabelle? No, it's just not what I imagined. I suppose it is a rather odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully. The right horn seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of this stuffed toy. Look, Miss Edgeworth, it moves! It does? It sounds like sand being crushed? It would seem there is a recording device hidden inside.
I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge.
Ah! This be the moment of the murder? And someone made a recording of it. Hey, that's them that right there. Them's the voices I heard. Sure as eggs is eggs.
Overruled.
Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder. If only there were some accompanying video footage. You got bugs in your ears or something, lady? I done told you, them's the voices I heard. And we already know the victim was holding that thing, right? It was gotta be from when she got. Yes, it is a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible. We need? Yet again, she seems to be stepping in help. Miss Cavell, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard of the speaker say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to, and how it's all related. Which piece of evidence proves that the voices are from when the murder occurred?
Take that!
Well, Your Honor, what do you make of this? What can I say except that it's not related to the voices? Sorry, I lost. And yet, there's nothing more I can do. Just gotta retry it. Yes, retry the current scene. You do have a piece of evidence that proves the voices are from the moment of the murder, correct? Consider for a moment the words we heard one of the speakers say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what these words are referring to and how it's all related. Maybe it's the coroner's report, because it does mention the burn on her hands.
Take that!
The coroner's preliminary findings? How did they prove anything? Indeed, what on this page shows that the voices must be from the time of the murder?
Take that!
Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand.
And what of it?
According to case testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim, was mentioned on the recording it captured. Ha! It's just a coincidence! Stuff like that happens. All the time. Right?
Overruled.
I'm not so sure that it does. Especially not in this case. The court accepts that the recording may be from the time of the murder. In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the conversation, it seems likely that it's the one we hear the most. But that still doesn't tell us anything about the killer's true identity, or even if they're male or female. Due to the voice changers, correct. Unfortunate, but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Miss Ringer and her killer. Just like I done tell you they was. You can say something else now, too. And let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman.
Do as you wish.
According to Miss Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came out to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. I'm starting to think that it's not Cavell that's the murderer. How sad. It's the chairman. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately afterward. and the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. What else does this latest revelation tell us? Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Hey, Gavel? Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy. And if they weren't the victim, then they can only have been the killer.
Overruled.
A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I am fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest the ringleader was the killer. Then please hurry up and show us. What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer? Croissant, maybe?
Take that!
This evidence clearly shows that the ringleader was the murderer. I don't get it. No surprises there, but I'm sure the rest of the room will see what I'm getting at.
For once, I agree with my idiot boy.
Ugh, how can that be? If the ringleader was the killer, there's something they would have wanted to hide. I need to present a piece of evidence that suggests that. Mr. Edgeworth, if you wish for us to believe your assertion that the ringleader was the killer, we will need to see some evidence to that effect. I understand, Your Honor, and I'm about to show you just that. What is something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer? Okay, it wasn't the magenta flower. Maybe it's this?
Take that!
The entire outfit? No, it wasn't the entire outfit.
Take that!
Okay, it wasn't the mask either. Something placed on the scene. Was it the candelabrum? Was it the victim's letter? Candelabrum? No, it wasn't that either.
Take that!
The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the Goddess of Justice statue. It was due to that blood that we originally thought the murder had happened in this chamber. But it was simply a ruse, designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up that blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, do you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee. Him! It's him!
Yes, yes. And you suspect me, correct?
As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection!
You're a fine prosecutor, that much I'll give you. But as I think I may have mentioned already, you're also hopelessly naive. You've got nothing, dear boy, have you? No evidence whatsoever. Unless you've got something to share after all.
Durnk! Do I have any evidence to show that Chairman Winner is the murderer? I don't. It was Chairman Winner himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seemed confident right from the get-go that he's untouchable. Which means he knows. He knows I have nothing.
Oh ho ho! Well, Miles, my boy, time to pay the piper. I've always wanted to say that. Verity, she's all yours.
Wait, dang it! I just remembered something! Huh? Did you have amnesia too? Nah, it just done came to me. Flash of inspiration, you know how it is.
Very well, say your piece.
Objection!
What are you doing, Verity?
Mr. Edgeworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must, lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future. Yeah, what she said. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Don't worry, Dad. I'll help Gavel bring this to a winning finish. We'll show them how wrong they are.
Fine. Let's hear what the witness has to say.
I'm gonna need some more water soon.
You heard the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind.
Well, alright then. Here goes nothing. The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Fruit's my middle name. Color me officially worried. Lorraine is the killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down that hatch, see? Then the murder happened and then the auction started back up again. Now, I had me a look back downstairs right after that. No. And wouldn't you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. How?
And you're sure of this, Miss Hart?
Sure as sure can be, your gavel ship. Saw 'em with my own 2 peepers. So, 11 before the murder and 11 again right after means... Wait, that's a thingy!
A contradiction, Eustace. Do try to keep up.
Miss Hart, did nothing really change at all? I done told you already. They carried right on again like nothing even happened. Oh, except for... It wasn't that much, but... What is it? That little mallet doodad? Can't have yours of an auction with that one. Kinda like the one Missy over there has got, but different. Ayo, hi! Hi, how you doing? We're currently in the middle of the Ace Attorney Investigations collection. You doing fine? Okay. I'm currently in the middle of case 4. I'm doing a bad southern accent.
The auctioneer's hammer.
There's the bunny. I done heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through, then nothing, just like that. So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through? Did it have something to do with the murder? Maybe they used the hammer on her. Because she did have injuries to her head.
If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim is neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth.
Dock one up for justice! Eat that, Edgeworth!
See, Mr. Edgeworth, there really was nothing we could do.
No, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't, Kay is...
Alright, kids. Do we finally have all our answers now? If so, then I expect you to make good on...
One moment, sir.
I worry that it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your voice by now. Aloud, hold it, perhaps.
Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat.
Very well. Let's get this over with, shall we? What is this one matter that still remains?
Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir.
That's... I'm back with the witnesses, Your Honor.
What's this all about? Why'd you call us back down here? Did somebody suddenly fall ill? I'll have a compress ready in 2 shakes of... Ouch! This better be good. Did somebody else drop dead? Well, they might soon wish they had. Dr. Hertz, Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you, this won't take long. Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will ya? Of course. We summoned you here to confirm something. What is Jiscoville up to? Dr. Hertz, this court asks that you provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Do you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? Grandma doesn't make mistakes, ever! That's strange. Huh? What do you mean? In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. And so I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings? That's awful! How can you even say that? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that? To help the true culprit, of course. As if I know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort. And that seems doubly strange. What other explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter? It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately, and then handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. Wait! For the record, I didn't do anything to the report! Then I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story. Why do we even need to? This is pointless! I'll be the judge of what's pointless, thank you very much. We have patients waiting back at the hospital. But Grim, ouch! We really don't have time for this. Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is. Grandma said she'll testify. But could you please make it quick? If we're not back soon, people will suffer. And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy the last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. The so-called mistake in the report. No way there's a mistake in Grandma's report. No, not never. I've been dealing with the dead longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as— ouch! And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file, huh? Don't make a lick of sense. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
See, it's just as I thought. There's no chance the good doctor doctored her findings.
And you swear by the Holy Goddess that this testimony is true. Of course! Grandma's never told a lie in her—
Objection!
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you. Not necessary? That's not fair. I'm the only ally poor Grandma has. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared then, Mr. Ex-Prosecutor.
Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report.
Rebuttal. No way! There's a mistake in Grandma's report. Not never.
Hold it!
Never? You're saying that Dr. Hertz is infallible? He has to be. A doctor can't afford to make mistakes. Even a veteran like Grandma would be out of a job if she messed up even once. But there's no way she of all people would. I got a whole hospital relying on me. Might be you can bungle your work and survive, mister, but I can't. I've been dealing with the dead longer you've been alive, Sonny Jim.
Hold it!
And you've really never made a single mistake in all that time? Doctor is all about experience. The longer you've been at it, the better you get. If only the same were true of prosecuting. Herman Winner would be the best in the business. But I think we can all agree that's not the case.
Oh, you really are a devil, Miles. But you're also quite wrong. I've never once made a mistake either. After all, I have people to do that for me. I'm too busy for foul-ups. And luckily for me, I don't have to make them. Isn't having people just grand?
Don't you go trying to make Doctrine and Lorian sound the same. They ain't nothing alike. Nothing alike, I tell ya. Me writing something wrong is about as likely as— ouch!
Hold it!
The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury. And yet there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. Oh, that's... ouch! I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man. My game report already says what you just said, don't it?
Objection!
Your report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I just said. Oh! Sure. I diligently dictated a report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down just like I said. If something happened to it after that, we were nothing to do with me. You dictated it? If you could please tell me more. I diligently dictated a report to Florence, and anything after that were nothing to do with me.
Hold it!
Just so we're on the same page, what were your conclusions regarding the body? Well, like I said, ouch! Sorry, it was, death from a good hard knock to the noggin. And can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Hertz? Pre-mortem, of course. Chest wound happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that, and she wrote it right down, so that's what it says in my tank report. That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file, To make a lick of sense?
Hold it!
You may not have stood to gain anything from it, but what about your granddaughter? Me? I didn't stand to gain anything either. Never mind her. What about your little friend over there, He'd stand to gain something for sure. Look at you trying to accuse my sweet innocent Florence of wrongdoing. Yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I wish you'd tell that to Chairman Winter. Anyhow, nobody doctored that report, you hear? Nobody. And that's all she has to say. Nothing funky here.
Hold it!
Did anything stand out as strange to either of you when you were examining the body? Let's see. Huh? What's that, Grandma? Pretty strange young fella showed up, that's for sure. A strange man? Who? Dressed like a dang fool he was, all frilly around the neck and such. You talking about Edward? And the dangest thing of all, even though we all knew the idiot boy was about to get fired, he still insisted on messing with my scene. That's right, I'm talking about you, mister. Ruffle-necked ruffian, crimson-suited creep. Oh, so Mr. Edgeworth is a ruffian and a creep. Those are not words you need to commit to memory, Kay. Dr. Hertz, doesn't sound like she's lying. No, but she only communicates to her granddaughter. I should probably try to make sure that Nurse Needler is being truthful, too.
Objection!
Coroner's report. Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself. Oh, I'll read it to... Ouch! This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all. What? What do you mean exactly? I don't know. But I can't say that. Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the goddess of justice. Dr. Hertz seems to be telling Judge Gabelle something in private. What? You see. Very well, allow me to relate to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. Wow, that was a great impression. Yes, but was it really necessary? I didn't even do the southern accent for her. So in summary, there is an error in the report. It was all because of you, Nurse Needler. The true facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Miss Needler, is why did you introduce such an error?
Just a minute, Verity. You make it sound as if the poor girl did it deliberately. Whereas it seems to me she just made a little mistake. Pre-mortem, post-mortem. They're practically the same word, don't you think?
Except they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it. But why would she want to change it? Exactly! Ouch! You won't get away that easy. Explain yourself, young lady. But Grandma, You submitted a falsified report, an act that led to Kay being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation. I can't! I tell you! Not don't want to, but can't?
This is really rather unpleasant, don't you think? Ganging up on this poor, considerate girl who's only looking after her grandmother. She has nothing to do with anything. She simply made one tiny mistake, so why not leave it there?
Objection!
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would hurt is you.
What on earth do you mean, my boy? Seeing as you're now a de facto ex-prosecutor, you're going to need to explain yourself better than that.
I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because... Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice. Ouch!
Oh, so she's a co-conspirator? This innocent young thing? Do share your grounds for making such a wild accusation, dear boy.
The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. Without at least two people, it wouldn't have been possible to... If the auctioneer was the murderer and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees even after the murder doesn't make sense. Hey, watch it! Y'all gotta call my good word in a question now, too? That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator.
I know it's hard, my boy, but sometimes you just have to accept that you were wrong.
Objection!
I wasn't wrong. I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. If the killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim, there would indeed have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder.
Well, that's your thinking, is it? It's certainly an intriguing theory, but surely the imposter would have been spotted right away.
I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looked strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Miss Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction? I wouldn't see something like that. Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? I can't tell you, I just can't. It hurt Grandma, too. Ow! But Grandma... Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything, child. But... Grandma! So I was right. She was an accomplice. Miss Needler, why? Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? Yes. Huh? Oh, thank you, Grandma. But I'm alright now. I confess it. I changed places with Miss Ringer. So you admit that you were working with the ringleader? Yeah. I was helping them. I don't know how, but they found out Miss Ringer was going to attack them. The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim. They seemed pretty sure it was going to happen that night, so they made a counter plan. They wanted to strike first, and they wanted me to help them. I was told to go to the storeroom before the auction began and wait there. Now hold on right there, Missy. Your life is just like, people don't like Live's novels. Oh, I have like a few people on Twitch. I don't get a lot of viewers regardless, just because I'm small. Now hold on right there, Missy. I didn't see nothing, and my eyes don't lie. If you'd have been there from before the auction, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through, and you weren't there for a bit of it. But I'm not lying.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but you were lying about altering that report only a few minutes ago.
Objection!
I think we're all well aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom.
Are we? Where exactly are you trying to say our friend the nurse was hiding,
Nurse Needler hid here while she was waiting in the storeroom. Maybe in the... box?
Take that!
She hid inside this closed box.
Oh, she did she?
Huh. Well, it was there the whole time, even before I moseyed on in. But like I done told y'all, it all had all them chains around it. Wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked to the tie, so I had to go elsewhere. I imagine it's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. That's right! We didn't want anybody to open it, or it would have really blown our cover. So the ringleader told me to climb in and wait until it was time for my part of the plan. Ad starts in 1 minute. And then they wrapped the whole box up in chains. I think they took the elevator downstairs not so long after. It was just before the auction was due to start. So as the auction was beginning, you and Miss Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom? Yeah, I think so. The auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That was when the incident occurred. Miss Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around then. You betcha! I was behind that statue there, shaking like a dang leaf the whole time. In the middle of their quarrel, Miss Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer then carried Miss Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Miss Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role now was to pretend to be Miss Ringer. The two of them then returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Yes, in fact, that's exactly what happened. Be right back! Okay, I'm back. he just walked right back on in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not one of the other folks down there at the auction conned on? Why would they? The other auction goers had no reason to notice a difference in this when Nurse Needler entered because, as we've seen, Miss Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules required attendees to wear their masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were wearing the same clothes as Miss Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser. No, and they weren't. They borrowed Miss Ringer's clothes and ouch! And left the poor child in her smalls? Have you no respect, girl? No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. It wouldn't be nice to leave her like that. So when the ringleader wasn't looking, I put that raincoat on her. So that's how Miss Ringer came to be wearing it. Thus, the auction was able to carry on as before. Yes, the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, it must be. Then it all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs through the gap in the elevator. Spied me 11 happy little auction goers. And back I snuck to my little hidey hole. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. Well, that is, not exactly. What is it? Did something happen? Well, maybe I ought to have mentioned this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say. What? What happened? Oh, not much. Kind of silly, really, but, there was a sudden loud noise, and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Alright, maybe more than a little. But I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess I got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day, and there y'all was clanking down that ladder. I see. So you were startled by a loud noise and felt unconscious? I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that? Not per se, but, well, after the auction was over, all the masks were back in the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they were supposed to. Nurse Needler, once the auction had restarted, what exactly were you doing? I was pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids, just as the ringleader wanted. I had to win the clothes box, as I'd been instructed. I had a dead body inside, after all. Imagine if somebody else had won it. We would have been in real trouble then. So you had no idea that the victim had vacated the box in the meantime? No, not until we came back up, so I could pay for it. That was when we noticed. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. Except, I found some other girl collapsed at the foot of the ladder instead. Okay. Yes, she must have fallen from up on the roof and have been knocked unconscious. Because the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked by seeing Miss Ringer fall motionless right in front of her that she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Miss Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. Yeah, I suppose. Can't believe something like that done knocked me out for so long, though. So in summary, by the time Miss Needler found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Nurse Needler, if you would continue. Sure. So I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box. We couldn't risk any of the auction goers seeing them. That would have caused a real hullabaloo. Was that your idea, or the ringleader's? Theirs. But putting the raincoat on Miss Ringer was my own idea. So I tried to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done. I imagine they were none too pleased when it showed up as a surprise piece of evidence in this case. And lastly, the ringleader and I put her in an auctioneer's outfit we prepared. Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer. All in all, the auction finished up without anybody noticing anything. And that was that. Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I'd advise you to do so immediately. I wish I could tell you more, but I'm sorry, that's all I know. Oh, except for one other thing. It did seem a little strange, I guess. When I was borrowing Miss Ringer's clothes, I took everything I could, but I couldn't take her hair, obviously, so ouch! You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you? That's where you draw the line, so taking her clothes was okay? Our hair was totally different. The style, the length, everything. I kind of panicked. But the ringleader thought of everything, including wigs. 2 of them, in fact. There was a straight one and a wavy run. They were both stashed in the clothes box. 2 wigs? Why? Right? I wondered that too. I thought maybe they were worried she might have changed up her style. Anyway, I took the straight one. That was the one that matched her hair on the day. Leaving a wavy wig in the box. And that's everything you know? There's nothing else you're forgetting? No. Huh? No, really, Grandma, that's everything. And I take it that you really have no idea who the ringleader might be? Alright, I only know that they were in charge of the auction. I didn't see them without their mask on. And they were pretty careful to keep their identity a secret from everyone. If I can't get something concrete on them.
Oh ho ho ho! Well, Miles, are we about done? You've proven the nurse was part of the murder plot. But sadly for you, it doesn't change a whole lot. Because it does nothing to prove that Kate Faraday isn't the ringleader. And justice must prevail. We can't change the law, even for your sake.
Is this it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Oh! Franziska, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Mouse Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you. For abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information. Detective Gumshoe did that? Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first of the injury she suffered, not the second. Well, someone say something. Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Franziska, but we already proved that ourselves. You, what? Yes, just a few minutes ago. Ah! But why didn't you say so sooner? You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon, too. No, not yet. Huh, good. Then listen up. The victim was struck in the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. A circular surface.
Objection!
And you're certain of that, I assume? Your sources are above board?
2 trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection!
That's certainly good to know. Unfortunately, you're overstepping the bounds of—
Objection!
Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation into the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to related parties. Especially the victim.
My. You've really become quite the force to be reckoned with, haven't you, my dear?
Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head. Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. But guys, I didn't turn up any other weapon during my investigation! And yet, one need only think about the setting and an auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. An object with a circular surface used in an auction. We're obviously talking about... What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course. But we never found one of those! If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without the evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that. Oh, I have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. Wonder what it is.
Take that!
Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. You said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. Good luck? Thank you, I guess. It would need to be disposed of. Isn't that right, Chairman Winner? I'll have one of our people look into this right away.
Oh. You really are like a dog with a bone, aren't you, dear boy? But if you can't dedicate yourself to a cause when you're young, when can you,
He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess. To be continued? Yes. To be continued. April 6th. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber. Silence in the courtroom, please. Miss Von Karma, if you would be so kind as to update us on the progress of the search. It's not good news, I'm afraid. The entire big building has been searched from top to bottom, and no auctioneer's hammer was found anywhere. Ah! That is bad news, indeed. Then we have no choice but to move ahead with the verdict. You thought the meme music would play for the to be continued from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Nah.
Such a terrible shame. But I suppose only a fool would have left the murder weapon behind. It's certainly not what I'd expect from a first-rate criminal mind.
No, there's just not enough work to work with here. I can't carry us any further on my own.
Yes, it really is a tragedy, but such is life, I suppose. I was just thinking back over the defendants I've made plea deals with over the years. People who poured their hearts out to me, who trusted me with every detail of their crimes. And then when it came to their sentencing, I recommended life in prison every time. For every single one. Oh, if only you could see them. The stupid, dumbfounded looks on their faces.
The verdict will now be passed. All present will accept the goddess's word as law. I don't know what you mean by, or like directed by who it was. Huh? There's nothing more I can do. Kay and I are both... If only we had some proof. I never imagined I would be passing judgment on you under such circumstances. The end of the road, huh? By the power vested in me. Excelsius Winner, this court hereby indicts you for your crimes. What? What?
Huh? What on earth's gotten into you, Verity?
I submit for the court's consideration the case file of a certain incident, namely the IS-7 incident, a murder that took place 18 years ago. But what does that file have to do with... Wait, you mean... Your late-night visit to this chamber, that was to... Precisely. I came here to retrieve these documents. Though sadly, it would seem that I arrived too early to catch the auction itself. When we spoke of the matter before, I implied that I had come to retrieve files pertaining to your own case. You'll have to forgive me. There was a ruse to buy myself more time. What the heck are you doing, Gavel? You can't just accuse my dad! Without proper grounds, it's deformation! An excellent observation, Eustace. It is? And of course, I have the grounds to make such an accusation. 18 years ago, Mr. Manfred von Karma had some details about the victim's body fabricated. Details he was forced to fabricate when the sculptor, Artie Frost's body, went missing. My papa? Fabricating information? What is the meaning of this? Ian Seidman, the detective originally assigned to the case, did in fact report that the body had gone missing. However, it seems that a certain someone wasn't very pleased with Mr. Von Karma, and deliberately withheld that information in order to bring him down a few pegs. What? What? This individual refuses to allow anyone to go against their wishes, or to challenge their power. And they're known to go to extreme lengths in order to bring those who defy them to heel. 18 years ago, They were no different. In fact, they even ordered Dr. Hertz to create a fake autopsy report for the IS-7 incident. What? She was responsible for the fake report? Wait, you have to understand. Gamma, she's not a bad person. She had to do what she said. She didn't have any choice. See? The person in question was the chief prosecutor at the time. The chief prosecutor 18 years ago? No. The man who gave Papa the first penalty of his career? Excelsius winner. It was you.
Objection!
What are you all talking about? My dad would never do something like that.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, Eustace, but your opinion on the matter is not needed here. Well, Chairman Winner, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All that nonsense with the body. That was Manfred's doing. Such a willful boy. And the fake autopsy reports? Hilda, how could you? I can't believe you naughty kids would do such dishonest things behind my back.
Hold it!
Wait, so is the dad the killer? Yeah, the dad's the killer. We could just ask her why she did it. She is standing right over there, after all. But wait! Grandma can't- she's- ouch! Grandma, I'm sorry! I knew! That's why exactly. If I didn't, everybody would have found out about what you did. They said he was going to charge you if I didn't help them with their plan. They said he would- I just had to do what the auctioneer said. So you were coerced into it, were you, Nurse Needler? And just to be clear, the auctioneer was Chairman Winner? I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. The person forcing me to help them was the auctioneer, and they definitely looked to be about the same build as the chairman, but I never saw their face. Well, there must be something. Any detail, no matter how small, will do. Oh, wait! Their mask didn't cover their whole face, and the part that wasn't covered had a tattoo on it. I remember that much for sure. Kind of slow, but the song I meant was that by directed Robert B. Wade? I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. A tattoo?
Objection!
It all sounds very dramatic, but I really don't know what you're talking about. There's no tattoo anywhere on my face. I think I'd know if there was one, wouldn't you? Which means I can't be the ringleader, no matter how much you might want me to be. I only hope you can figure out who this shameless manipulator might be. Oh ho 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 ho.
Overruled.
Your contempt for this courtroom is an insult to the goddess. Are you sure it's not you who's feeling insulted here? I am not the only one who has been trying to bring you to justice. This ringer had been trying to. And I refuse to let her sacrifice be in vain.
Young Rosie was looking to take me down, you say? But why? I barely knew her. I've always had a certain magnetic charm, but I don't remember ever catching that particular eye.
Wait, a tattoo wouldn't it be covered by the beard? It could be, or he could have makeup on. You barely knew the victim? Why, I do believe that is a new statement. The goddess demands that you offered your full testimony on the record.
So that's how this is going to go, hmm? You mean to hound me until I finally break? Stop.
I'd say shave that and check.
Well, if that's the way you want to play it, fine. I'll destroy you all. Every last one of you.
Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to work with you on this one. I doubt we'll get another chance to put him on the stand. So let's make the most of this opportunity. Of course, Your Honor. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, Chairman Winner, you will tell this court everything you know about Miss Ringer. Everything I know about Miss Ringer.
Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course. But we never really had any personal interactions. At least none that I remember. I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me.
So you don't mean to accept your part in any of this? Of course he doesn't. He isn't guilty. How could he be? He's my dad! The winner of winners.
That's very kind of you, Eustace. But you'll need more than mere words if you plan to cover for me.
Right, you got it. I won't let them pin this on you. I believe in you, Dad. You'll beat Edgeworth. I know you will.
Yes, yes. You really are such a sweet, simple child.
He really loves his dad, huh? But that's no excuse for him to ignore his father's crimes. No matter how much he respects him. Regardless of their station in life, all criminals will be made to atone for their sins in time. This won't be easy on Mr. Winter, but it has to be done. We can't let his father get away with this. Rebuttal.
Young Rosie was a member of the committee, of course.
Hold it!
As a member of the committee, you must at least have been familiar with her face.
Sure, but that's about all. I saw her every once in a while. But we never really had any personal interactions. At least none that I remember.
Hold it!
So you're saying you barely knew the victim at all?
That's exactly what I'm saying, my boy. Yes. Why, I never even knew about that burn mark on her hand.
You didn't?
I mean, what's the point? You get to know someone, but before you know it, they're gone. It's become such a pain to remember things about others. They're here one day and gone the next.
Yes, because they dared to stand up to you, and you make them disappear. If you could please add your remark about the victim's burn to your testimony, Chairman Winter.
Why, I didn't even know about the burn mark on her hand.
Hold it!
You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark?
You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar on their hand and who doesn't.
But this wasn't just any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact. Did anyone mention the burn mark? Yes, we know about. Everyone knows about the burn mark. It's very visible on the victim's body. It's on her hand. Perhaps under normal circumstances. And now that I think about it, Ms. Ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself. The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves.
It makes sense, of course. People can be very self-conscious about such things. I can only sympathize, being something of a sensitive soul myself.
I hope you're not too sensitive to append that statement to your testimony.
Although I suppose she was always wearing gloves, perhaps it was to hide that burn.
Hold it!
So you remember her always wearing gloves?
I mean, it was something of a trademark of hers, yes. Who knew it was to hide a burn mark? I always imagined it was just a fashion statement. Does your little friend there have something to hide under all those bandages, I wonder?
Who, me? No, I don't have anything to hide.
You don't? Not even the stony visage of a cold-blooded murderer?
Objection!
If anyone here is hiding such a thing, it's you. And I'll expose your true face if it's the last thing I do.
Oh, you never failed to entertain, my boy. Go ahead, and do your worst.
So Miss Ringer always wore gloves. That reminds me of something. I should look over all the evidence again.
I had no motive to murder that poor girl whatsoever.
Hold it!
Always covered by gloves. You knew, so he's not including changing all his story. Yeah, he definitely knew because he murdered her. You never had any trouble with her professionally?
Oh, don't be so silly, my boy. I'm far too important these days for such trivialities. By all accounts, her work was unimpeachable. Besides, our difference in standing meant we hardly ever interacted.
But that doesn't prove you didn't kill her, does it?
Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? Anything to save your little friends,
It certainly seems that Miss Ringer has some personal interest in you, at least.
Indeed. But I can't for the life of me imagine why. Too bad it's so sad. Without a motive, you can't logic your way into pitting this on me. And I have absolutely no idea why she was after me.
Hold it!
You have no idea at all as to why she was after you?
Let's see now.
It's because Dad's a real catch!
I suppose you could say that, yes. The admirers, they come, and then they go again.
You couldn't even dream of being like my dad! Very true. I doubt many ordinary people could quite match his achievements. It's remarkable, really, to have so many people come into her life, and then for so many, leave it. Let's see the proof that it's important.
I certainly won't complain if you chose to leave Verity, my dear.
I think it's far more likely that you'll be the one leaving today, in handcuffs.
Yes, yes, very droll. But if you think I'm finished, you'll be sorely disappointed.
I have to think back over what we know about the victim. If you're not so sure how to proceed, how to approach this, take another look at the evidence. You just might find a new way to interpret old information. Are you trying to help me, Francisca? I'm trying to help Kay Faraday. I couldn't care less about you. Nice to see she really is worried for Kay. In her own Francisca sort of way. Okay. Ah. 12 years ago. We still have a lot to learn. Maybe it's this? She doesn't have a glove on her left hand. So maybe she doesn't have one on her right hand either?
Objection!
Yeah, it wasn't that. Okay, it wasn't that either, so it's not that piece of evidence. Maybe it's the autopsy report instead?
Objection!
Okay, it's not the autopsy report, at least not on that statement. It wasn't that either. Ha! You think you can win against a winner? Think again. My dad's invincible. He's the top of the top. The winningest winner of all.
Yes, yes, the cheerleading is a little cringe-inducing though, Eustace. Maybe you could give it a rest?
I just felt like that was an exchange to boys, at least once. It has to be this because she got no gloves on. So not the report. Yeah.
Objection!
Okay, it's not that piece of evidence either, at least not on that statement.
Objection!
What the hell is the... I'm just gonna look it up. Press the second statement. Okay, and I have to press the statement again.
Hold it!
You're sure you didn't know about the burn mark?
You really don't let up, do you? I'm not in the habit of memorizing who has a scar on their hand and who doesn't.
But this wasn't just any old scar. I'd say it's pretty noticeable, in fact. Perhaps under normal circumstances, but now that I think about it, this ringer did always wear gloves. Truth be told, I wasn't aware of the burn mark until after the incident myself. The victim's hands were always covered by a pair of gloves.
It makes sense, of course.
I think I've already... Where are we? We're accusing Excelsius of being the murderer. A broken plushie? How is... Okay.
Objection!
It's the plushie. Why is Gavel on Edgeworth's side? It's... I don't know why. I don't know why either. So Miss Ringer always wore gloves? If she did, that raises a rather important question, and highlights quite a contradiction.
A contradiction, you say? Really?
If we listen again to the conversation that was captured by the stuffed cow, you'll see what I mean. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? I've waited so long for this day, and now I'll finally have my revenge. We can be reasonably certain that what we just heard is the moment the victim was attacked. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. We assumed that those were the words of the killer.
And where's the problem in that? It seems like a perfectly sensible assumption to me.
I'm afraid not, Chairman Winner. For you see, if a victim was always wearing gloves as you just testified, then the burn mark on her hand should not have been visible to her killer.
Objection!
You speak as if gloves can't be easily removed. You could have taken them off during the auction.
That's... But she hadn't! She was still wearing them when I changed places with her. So they must have been on her hands when she was being murdered, too.
What are you saying, my dear? You do know how much trouble you're in, don't you?
I'm not scared of you anymore. I have Grandma on my side now. Now it's time for you to be the piper, Winner, you dang devil.
I see. So you're both looking to disappear, too.
Who's this guy? What do you mean? Girl? Oh, she is, the nurse that was taking care of Kay. She actually was the co-conspirator in the case. She's an accomplice. Not this time, Excelsius Winner. The only person disappearing will be you.
Objection!
Hey, you can't talk to my dad like that. The case of the burn was covered up. Why does that even matter?
Objection!
Oh, it matters. Because it turns our understanding of the burn mark on its head. What do you mean? Look at the fact that the victim's burn mark was covered up. Possibly tell us. What? The victim never had a burn mark in the first place. You might want to take another look at the picture of her body, Edgeworth, because I'd say that looks a lot like a burn mark on her hand. Yeah, I thought that didn't make any sense either. I was thinking maybe they covered it up with makeup. And that's what that statement meant. If the murderer was unable to see the victim's burn mark, what did the speaker see? And what does that tell us? Hey, are you gonna give us a sensible answer sometime this century? What can the fact that the victim's burn mark was covered up possibly tell us? Think about it like this, Mr. Winner. The victim was wearing gloves. Therefore, the burn-up mark on her hand would not have been visible. In which case, whose burn mark was it that was being referenced in the recording? Somebody who, was it the victim? Precisely, which can only mean that the culprit had a prominent burn mark, too. Or to put it another way, I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Those words were spoken not by the murderer, but by the victim. No way!
Objection!
Eustace, my boy, would you mind stepping aside for a sec? Look, Miles, it's nice to see you having fun with your little flights of fancy, but let's get serious.
The murderer could have had a burn mark and covered it by a beard? I don't think that's possible. Look at how long the beard is.
So the murderer had a burn mark now? Really? Where? Your little theory will either take flight or die depending on your answer here, I'm afraid.
He's not messing around. I have to figure out where that burn mark was and fast.
I wonder where it could have been. All of the auction people were wearing disguises, right?
Yes, and each disguise was different. Yet, in spite of that, the burn mark was visible to the victim somehow. Which means...
Well, shall we? Enlighten us, why don't you? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
Excelsius's objection voice line is so intimidating, and I love it. Maybe not intimidating, but you know what I mean, probably. Yeah, I understand. What is... Prepared wigs.
Take that!
Here, this ought to tell you everything you need to know.
About the location of the murderer's burn mark? Dear boy, that doesn't tell me anything at all. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that.
I got that wrong? How would the ringleader have looked when this ringer saw the burn? If I just focus on that, the answer should come to me.
Alright, Miles. Let's stop wasting time, shall we? Where was the murderer's burn mark? I assume you have some evidence.
Maybe it's on his chest? Oh, this has the tattoo thing.
Take that!
Here's my evidence. The outfit the ringleader was wearing throughout the auction. Or rather, the outfit you were wearing, Chairman Winner.
Oh, 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 oh! And what exactly is that supposed to tell us,
Objection!
A suit, white gloves, and a mask. This disguise should have covered almost all of your skin, but according to Nurse Needler's testimony, the auctioneer's mask didn't quite cover your entire face. And not only that, she claims to have seen a tattoo on the part that was exposed. But was it a tattoo, or did she simply mistake a burn mark for one?
A burn mark? On the face?
Objection!
Sorry to interrupt while you're so clearly enjoying yourself, dear boy. But I regret to inform you, none of the committee members has such a burn. Myself included, of course.
But Dad, I mean...
Eustace, do you think you can be quiet, please? You can be foolish on your own time later.
Well, you may be an annoyance most of the time, Mr. Winner. But on this particular occasion, I'm grateful for your presence. A reaction like that from you, his son, is as good an indicator of the truth as I could have hoped. And it gives me a much-needed confidence boost concerning another theory of mine. Namely, who that one unexplained item belongs to.
What's the matter with Mr. Winner?
I think he might be in shock. After all, he's usually the last to figure things out. But in this case, he seems to have gotten there all too quickly. He knows that his father is indeed the real murderer.
He's sad because he knows the truth? So, it's better not to know the truth at all?
No, Kay. It's what we came here for. It doesn't matter how we get there. The important thing is finding the truth. You yourself told me that once, right when I needed to hear it the most. And now it's time for me to repay the favor and show you the truth of your innocence.
I want to know too, the truth of what really happened. So please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you show me?
I very much intend to.
Oh, you don't know when to give up, do you? Where is this burn then? Perhaps you could point it out to me. But you can't, can you? Because it's nowhere to be found. Just like your evidence that I'm the killer.
Yeah! Hunt for contradictions all you like, you won't find any! Because he's my dad! A winner through and through!
Objection!
I understand, Mr. Winner. I completely understand why you don't want to believe it's true. But if you ignore the truth now, you'll regret it for as long as you live.
Dad, what do I do?
I just don't understand it. How could I have raised such an utter buffoon? If you really wish to help your father, Eustace, you can try thinking on your own for once in your life, you useless nitwit.
But I try all the time, Dad. All I do is try. I went to the school you wanted me to go to. I aced every test. Look at my jacket. They only give these to the valedictorian. I did everything you told me to. I worked like crazy and I graduated at the top of my class. I try to be just like you and win as many trophies as I could.
Objection!
Poor Eustace.
You really are just a simpering simpleton, aren't you? Those tests you aced, I had the school give you perfect scores on all of them. Those debate and speech competitions you won, the judges were all friends of mine. If you never even realized that much, there's no hope for you, I'm afraid. None at all. You're no son of mine. Even you must see that. Oh, God, my own son. They all leave in the end. Oh, I mean, boo. Even when he was trying, he was failing. And he did it all for me? Then he should have tried harder.
Can Excelsius get whipped now? I wish Francisco would whip him. You're a disgrace. You don't deserve to be a father, and you certainly don't deserve to be chairman of this committee. Even I feel sorry for the boy now. Dang, that's just sad. It is sad, yeah. Even I think this is a bit much for Eustace. I didn't expect to be sympathizing with Eustace at this point. He is a buffoon, but he's our buffoon.
Or Mr. Winner.
Explain yourself, Chairman Winner. Just what do you think your son is to treat him in such a way?
An utterly useless pawn sounds about right.
If you have a chance of Excelsius getting beaten to death. Francisca, please! You have a duty.
But you're one to talk, Verity. You tried to worm your way into my trust by using Eustace, too.
I cannot deny it. However, I have never thought of him as a mere pawn. He may not be a naturally gifted prosecutor, but he tries. In some ways, he tries harder than anybody. That's what I have witnessed during my time with him. Yet you would call him useless. How could you?
Objection!
Oh, because he is Verity, my girl. He is utterly incapable of doing anything I ask of him.
Mr. Edgeworth, I entrust my offering to the goddess to you, so that you may use it to call her final judgment onto Excelsius Winner. Thank you, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so. If the ringleader had a visible burn mark on their face that night, then it would follow that Chairman Winner is currently hiding that mark somehow. How exactly was he dressed during the auction? That will be the key to solving this case at last. Maybe the beard is fake. Maybe the beard is just like a weave or something. Now then, your answer, please. Which piece of evidence will help us to reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? Maybe. It seems comically long. Yeah. Could be a wig used as a beard, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But he does tug at it really often. So maybe it is a weave, and it's just like stuck on his face. But I don't know the answer to this. Okay, I'm gonna use this again.
Take that!
Take a look at this if you would.
And that's supposed to help you reveal the burn mark, is it? I don't understand. I just don't understand.
It doesn't matter whether you understand or not.
Overruled.
I thought the beer was a cover for a burn mark anyways.
Forgive me, Mr. Edgeworth, but I don't understand either.
Okay, wasn't that? There's one key difference between the auctioneer and the chairman standing before us. And the burn mark we're looking for is hiding on just the other side of that difference. I simply need to find a piece of evidence that will help us reveal it and shove it in his face.
Now is the time, Mr. Edgeworth. Call the goddess's final judgment onto Excelsius winner.
I will, Your Honor. I've been more than ready to do so.
Very well then. Your answer, please.
Which piece of evidence will help us to reveal the burn mark on the culprit's face? I don't know. We have been talking about wigs. So maybe it was this?
Take that!
Recall Nurse Needler's testimony, if you will. There was one thing we never quite resolved. The second wig. The one that wasn't used.
I seem to remember it being wavy.
What are you talking about? Nurse Needler apparently found some very interesting items when she went to swap places with the victim. And what do they have to do with the burn mark? What she found were two wigs. One was intended to make her look more like the victim, but what was the other one for? I don't suppose it was meant to be a spare. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to see the truth. Compare Chairman Winner's current appearance to that of the ringleader as it was described to us. Trying to will Francisca into whipping him. I wish.
Stop it. Stop staring at me.
One very prominent difference presents itself. His face, or rather, what's around it.
You mean?
It wasn't a wig after all? Indeed, not a wig intended to go on the top of the head in any case. It was a fake beard all along, wasn't it, Excelsius winner? Oh!
This is all my own, dear boy. How very unkind of you to suggest otherwise.
Objection!
We saw how your son reacted when he realized the truth, and how he desperately tried to cover for you, even in light of his realization. Yet you still feared that he might expose you. So rather than take that risk, you bullied him until he couldn't take it anymore. Because he knew that your beard hides a prominent burn mark. Chairman Winner, I insist that you remove your beard this instant.
Grah!
Damn! They didn't just rip the beard off. He fucking lit it on fire.
There it is! The burn mark! Mr. Edgeworth, for bringing evil to justice before the eyes of the goddess, you have my thanks.
No, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you.
Excelsius winner, in the name of the goddess, I hereby pronounce my verdict. In the matter of the murder of Miss Rosie Ringer, this court finds you guilty.
April 6th, 9:44 a.m. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber. Dang, he should put that thing back on too. He burns his axes. Yeah, he looks a lot better with the wig on, huh?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't thank you enough. You never gave up on me, even when I gave up on myself. That was very kind of you.
There's no need to thank me. As a prosecutor... No. As a friend, it was the least I could do. Yeah, he does look fucking awful without the wig. It's too bad YouTube chat is not showing up on the overlay, because there is someone else talking.
Mr. Edgeworth, rejoice.
I've learned that Chairman Winner has been safely delivered to the detention center. The search for the missing auction hammer continues. However,
You have both chats open? Thank you for being my second concurrent viewer.
we are talking about Chairman Winner here, so it's highly likely that it has already been destroyed. In addition, there is one other matter I must inform you of. The chairman made a rather strange statement. According to him, the letters were not part of his plan.
I'm over here, see? I see you! Cubey Cubester! Ah!
What? How could that be? He claims that he and Miss Needler found this letter on Miss Ringer's person, and that they then found a second letter on Kay's unconscious body. From their contents, the letters seem to be ones of correspondence. So he leapt to the conclusion that they must have been working with each other.
That's quite the conclusion to jump to.
As he read the letters, that's when he came up with the idea to frame Miss Faraday for Miss Ringer's murder. So he decided to place the victim in a very conspicuous place. Namely, in her left chest pocket.
Sounds to me like he's just trying to make excuses for himself.
Yes, I certainly thought the same. Perhaps it was some sort of last-ditch ploy on his part. But it matters not. He will answer to the goddess now. And under her scrutiny, such strategies cannot hope to succeed. He will not escape justice. And with that, one of the duties with which I have been entrusted with is complete at last.
Judge Cavell, before you go, can you tell us what you know about how Chairman Winner came to murder Miss Ringer? There's more there, isn't there?
Yes, and I suppose you have earned the right to the whole truth. Miss Ringer once had a lover, a press photographer. He was investigating the underground auctions as a freelance journalist. But before he could uncover the truth behind the auctions, he was disappeared. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so, seeking revenge on Chairman Winner, she made her appearance at the auction. Unfortunately for her, her opponent struck first.
I see. So that's the story behind this case.
While the goddess does not condone acts of wanton vengeance, Miss Ringer's actions have exposed Chairman Winner's crimes at last.
So that was your real goal. You were tasked with exposing Excelsius Winner and the corruption at the heart of the committee.
Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Winner? I am afraid I haven't been able to get in touch with him.
Do you have any idea why?
Probably because I wasn't there for him just now when he needed me most.
Oh, I really feel bad for him.
Well, don't pity him too much. At least he knows the truth now, and no matter how hard it might be, he'll need to learn to accept it. If he can't, he'll never be able to move on with his life.
Francisco would know.
Trust me.
A father's influence isn't easily erased, but in time he can hopefully try and change his ways.
You're right. You've gotta be. Can I change too, I wonder? Can I move on with my life?
Are you okay, Kay? How's that head feeling?
I'm fine.
Thank you?
I'm so sorry, Kay. You are my patient. I had a responsibility to you, and instead I let them accuse you of youch!
Danged right. We ain't just in the business of fixing bodies, Missy. The mind's where it all begins.
You're right, Grandma. Speaking of which, how's your memory? It's like, with a little more time, maybe I'll be able to remember some more?
Please forgive me, but I had better be on my way. You're now on the Discord server? Thank you.
I am to preside over the trial of Fifi Lagarde in a bit.
The Bronco Night case, huh? Who's the defense attorney?
It was supposed to be Miss Ringer, but as she is no longer with us, we are still in the process of finding her replacement.
Miss Ringer was scheduled to represent Warden Lagarde?
But of course, until we find Eustace,
there is nobody to act for the prosecution either. I'm gonna snooze the ad break because we're almost done.
In any case, I must take my leave.
Wait, please! What about Mr. Edgeworth's badge? What's going to happen to it now?
With its chairman under arrest, the committee's activities have been suspended for the time being. So to answer your question,
It's complicated. It's all up to the goddess now.
But
Don't worry about it, Kay. It's a consequence of my own making. And I assume you do not mean to change your mind? Of course not. I chose the path of the truth, and I chose it willingly. With the chairman winner out of the picture, justice is in the hands of the righteous once more. If you did wish to follow the path of the prosecutor again, Mr. Edgeworth, I would be more than happy to facilitate such a decision. It's very kind of you to offer, but I can't accept your help at this time. I can't ask for my badge back when I'm not even sure if I want it anymore. I see. It seems we're destined to continue on different paths then. Well, I trust you'll keep my badge safe until they converge again. With all I have. In the meantime, I have here a token of the goddess's mercy. You may return this notebook to its rightful owner. Kay's promise notebook. It seemed it was due to be sold in the auction, and with the name Kay written on its cover, Chairman Winner made the connection immediately and knew who it belonged to. It was the same name as the one in the letters, after all. The letters he claimed to know nothing about? I suppose he insisted he didn't prepare them? Yes, he also had something else to say. Apparently, he thought that Miss Faraday was after her notebook, and that Miss Ringer was after his life, and that their respective goals are what led them to cooperate and infiltrate the auction together. Unfortunately for him, he misread the situation completely. It was all just happenstance. If Kay had known a defense attorney who was also a member of the committee, there's no way she wouldn't have told me. I just isn't like her. Your belief in her is touching. While the notebook did become part of Chairman Winner's cover-up scheme, it is also a treasured possession of Miss Faraday's, which is why I would like for her to have it back, as I am sure would the goddess. Thank you. I pray that it helps her to recover her lost memories. Goodbye, Judge Gavel.
is everything alright?
Judge Gavel wanted me to return something important to you.
Ah, isn't that? Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Daddy! I wrote them all down, Daddy! Yeah, I'm gonna keep all my promises and be a real hero when I grow up, just like you! Oh, wait! I forgot to write one down. The most important promise of all. Promise number 5. Always try your hardest to learn about the things you don't understand. I remembered it just how you said it, and now I'll never forget it.
Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand.
That's right. I have to try. I'm Kay Faraday, the great thief who'll do anything to get her hands on the truth. Nekinya Sakurasu, an assistant to Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, is that really you? Can't say I'm not a little bit embarrassed, but yeah, I'm back. And I couldn't have done it without you, Mr. Edgeworth. You never stopped helping me, even when I was totally lost and couldn't remember anything.
Thank goodness. You certainly seem to be back.
Hey, so this is the real you, huh? Welcome back. It's so good to know you're better. I can sleep easy now. Now that you found it, don't you dare go losing that memory of yours again, young lady, you hear? Miss Needler, Dr. Hertz, thanks a lot for looking after me. And if you really are better, how about you get out of them dang hospital duds? Oh yeah, I washed all your clothes for you. Here.
I thought they were with Detective Gumshoe?
He handed them over to us after they came back from forensics.
Did he happen to mention if forensics found anything of note?
I didn't ask. Anyway, never mind that now. Put them on, Kay. I want to see.
Wait, what about her bandages? Surely it's too soon to remove them.
Oh, it's probably fine. She may have taken a big old bump to the head, but she wasn't really hurt otherwise.
But then, why all the bandages in the first place?
Prevention is better than cure. A stitch in time saves 9. Those are just a few of my mottos.
Snoozing again. Both of which sound like painfully annoying practices for your patients.
Okay, Kay, transformation time. Yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. It's like a stolen glove.
That smile suits you better, too. As it always did.
Thanks to you, Miss Von Karma. I'm so glad you showed up when you did. I simply came when Scruffy asked me to. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that you're back to your old self, too. Speaking of Gummy, where is he?
Who knows? Perhaps the well of his devotion ran dry when a certain someone threw away his badge. It's a gumshoe. Anyway, I have to be going. I'll be taking those two with me.
Wait, what's going to happen to them?
Acting as an accomplice in a murder and forging an autopsy report 18 years ago, their crimes can't be allowed to go unpunished. But the fact that Excelsius Winter coerced them into cooperating will, of course, be taken into account.
Don't you worry about us, Kay. As long as Grandma and me are together, we'll be alright.
Take care, Kay Faraday, until we meet again. So, Kay, I know you only just got your memory back, but I need to ask you some questions.
Sure, ask away.
What happened the day you lost your memory? What were you doing?
Let's see. Somebody asked me to meet them at Gourd Lake. But I didn't know who it was. So there I was, just looking up at the moon when somebody in a red raincoat started walking toward me. They must have drugged me somehow, because that's when I fell unconscious.
What? I'm not sure I follow. Kay was at Gourd Lake looking up at the moon?
Anyway, when I came to, I was on the roof of this building. I was in a daze and stumbling around up there when I saw the person in the red raincoat again, but they were lying on the ground. I was so surprised I stumbled backward. And then I was falling and everything went dark. When I came to the second time, I couldn't remember anything. The person in the red raincoat, who in the world were they? I'm sure they were walking in midair. Thinking about it makes my head hurt.
Just breathe, Kay. You only just got your memory back. You're still confused. I imagine the root cause of your confusion is... I imagine things are all mixed up in your mind because you were at Gourd Lake one minute and then at the top of the big building the next. With the red coat picture person, isn't that from the picture? Yeah, that's the murder victim. And because you saw the moon in both locations, your mind blended your memories of the two together.
Huh? But those are two totally different places. I know I was pretty out of it, but I don't think I could have gotten them confused that easily.
I believe these things on the roof may have made you more likely to become confused. Is it the cotton candy? I'll try the cotton candy.
Take that!
There are two key similarities between the scene down by Gourd Lake and here on top of the big building. Cherry blossoms and food stands.
Wait, you're right!
Those similarities are what caused your memories of both places to overlap. The person in the red raincoat wasn't walking in midair. They were walking toward you from across the park. But in your blurry memories, that same sight played out over the viewing platform instead.
No way! These are the Great Thief's memories, huh? That's just cheating.
Even still, this doesn't answer the question of who attacked Kay in the park. Was it the person in the red raincoat she saw? Beep, beep, beep. Do you hear that?
It sounds like it's coming from up in the storeroom. Come on, let's go take a look. Well, howdy! I smell another scoop in the office.
You're still here? April 6th, 9:53 a.m. 51st floor. Storeroom. Walkie-talkie?
It's coming from this little gadget here, Miss Edgeworth.
Ugh, this transceiver. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. Beep, beep, beep.
It's still going!
But I'm no good with technology.
Come on, you have to pick up. Fine, I'll do it. Hey, this is Edgeworth.
Hey, if you could refrain from answering strange calls for me. Mr. Edgeworth, I presume. I know that voice. Is it Shelly the Killer? Oh, yeah, it's Shelly the Killer! Congratulations on another case solved. Yet I cannot truly say it's been fully resolved, can you? I'm sure you've noticed by now that there was a mastermind at work orchestrating the entire incident. How do you even know about this case? That's not what's important right now. Let's focus on this certain individual for the time being, shall we? I have indeed been wondering myself if somebody else could have been involved. If not, how are we to explain this piece of evidence that proves so damning to Kay's case?
No, wait, an evil mastermind, but who?
Who indeed? Perhaps you could share your thoughts? What is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement?
Take that!
This right here proves that somebody else was behind all this.
Sorry, I don't get it.
Sadly, neither do I.
That wasn't it? There was one clearly suspicious piece of evidence. What was it?
Well, Miss Edgeworth, what is the evidence in question that points to somebody else's involvement?
I thought it was the ticket stub. But I guess not. How about the mask?
Take that!
This right here proves that some. Oh, okay, that wasn't it either. How about the corsage?
Take that!
No.
Take that!
Okay, it's not case memory either. Not the key card. That's not suspicious. We have the covers the murder could be, but how? If maybe the mask? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying.
Take that!
This is a letter? The letter Kate supposedly wrote to the victim.
Yeah, I don't remember ever writing that.
So who did? Who would prepare such a thing? I know I'm not the only one who would like to know.
And how do we know it wasn't you?
Now why would I do a thing like that, I believe the truth can only fully come to light in a court of law. But since you've had your badge revoked, that is no longer an option. So how will it all end? I, for one, will be watching from the sidelines with interest.
He even knows about my badge?
Oh, and one last thing. I do hope you won't betray my trust in you. Now, I bid you farewell.
What the heck do you mean by the case hasn't been fully resolved? And why is he so interested in us anyway? Everything's just one giant ball of mysteries. It seems we've only scratched the surface of this case. But even without my badge, I'm going to carry on doing what I can. However this ends, one thing's for certain. Come what may, I will expose the truth. The end. Yeah, case back! We got a memory back. The next one is called Turnabout for the Ages. And that's the last case. And then I'm going to replace this game with the 100-line Last Defense Academy, which is from the creators of Danganronpa and 999. I'm excited for that. That game has overwhelmingly positive reviews. That's Eustace. I wonder what's gonna happen with Eustace. Exiting the game. Okay, can we raid out? We have enough for a little raid. A tiny little raid. I think Saku's online. Yeah, Saku is online, still doing his funathon. I'll be back tomorrow for Silk Song. Goodbye.